Hi guys, so by popular demand, people actually wanted to see how I got on with the rear windows. So spin the camera around to show you. They are both fitted. Let's show the details of how that's done, shall we? So on pretty much any Renault Super 5 shell, if it comes with the opening rear windows, it's literally just a couple of these metal hinges. They're not actually got any pivots. You just literally use the flex itself in the metal. Now on a base spec car this was, or a late Campus for example, which are all as base spec as you can get them, you literally have a couple of little plastic blanking plugs that go there and there around the fixed rear windows. And to fit these ones, all you do is you rip them out and rivet these hinges in place. The back's a little bit more complicated because you've got the holes here that are again blanked over, but you actually need some special plastic clips that have actually got some little captive nuts inside them, and then the countersunk bolts go through there and hold it in place. At the moment I haven't got that bit, so we've kind of improvised a little bit. We've got good, perfect little cable tie holding it all nice and tight, and what we need to do now is these are all got some clever clips on them where the outer bit pushes in, a bit on the back goes on, and you slide a little almost like a split pin, but it's plastic through it. I've got to get some new rubbers because Daddy, that's enough. That dogs, pups even. Got these rubber bits here that are basically like gaskets that go around it to seal it. And yeah, they came out the other shell. They weren't too great in that shell, and obviously they've just deteriorated a bit more, so that will have to be done at some point. But for now, they'll be okay. They'll do. The alternative is this rubber here is actually one I cut out of a bike inner tube, and that was about 8-7 years ago. So yeah, but we just need to sort them out because yeah, the gasket kind of takes up a lot of the free play. And the free play means that it doesn't quite pull against the seal properly. So little tweaks, just little tweaks. Ah, here we go. So that there is one of the grommets that would normally push into the holes where the rivets are. They either come out in one piece or they disintegrate. And obviously being nearly 40 years old now, they do generally just disintegrate and turn to cheese as soon as you touch them. So yeah, don't expect to save them because they'll probably just sacrifice themselves. Right, so this is inside the rear door card. Now, this is, when I got this last year, this shell was a 15,000 mile shell. When I looked at it in the first place, it was like, holy hell, you might as well be looking at a car in a showroom that's actually on a driveway with some faded paint. Because honestly, every known place that a 5 can rot, this car is as rust-free as it will be. The bonnet is the only bit that's actually suffered. Oddly enough, the bonnet on outer and inner skin has gone the front edge, which I've never seen before, believe it or not. But I have got the other bonnet from the other shell, which I'm going to be getting sprayed up so it can match the car. But yeah, while this is all open, the door cards for the GTL spec are on the front seat at the minute, because the trim that goes around here, the reason I had to change this is because this little dig in here where my finger is, that is actually where the trim for this rear window slots into. And when you've got the old fixed windows, there isn't that bit for it to slip into. It doesn't, there's nowhere for it to actually be held in place. So that's why I've had to do this. But to be fair, the opening ones are better because it just stops things rotting out like a good one. So yeah. So once we've got the bottom bit on, then you can put the top bit on. It's a bit of a nightmare because everything's a domino effect. Once you stop doing one bit, you've got to then do the next bit and the next bit. Yeah, you kind of have to just keep going once you start to put the trim in because it all holds each other in place. So yeah, we've cavity waxed the hell out of this bit in here while we've got it all open, because quite frankly, if you're into old cars, you already know that old metal does love to rot for fun. So if you're in this position where you've got a really clean shell, you might as well drown the hell out of it in wax, because that way you're one step ahead of the rust game. And let's face it, if you've done rust repair, you know damn well you just want to be one step ahead, because spraying wax is one hell of a lot easier than taking everything apart to weld it up. So yeah. Now I have just noticed on the other side of the car that this hole here, in fact let's see if I can show you, it might be lucky. Go. So there we go, that big hole there where that trim clips all down. Now I'm not entirely sure where that goes to, but as we can see there is a hole there. Whether or not that's possibly a drain, I don't know, if it could quite well be either a drain or that there is the, what do I call it, you've got a suspension bolts on just about here underneath the seat. Next to that there's almost like a jacking point, and I'm wondering if that's actually because the jacking point itself has got a hole in it, so it's potential that there goes to there. But the fact there's a hole, I want to get a lance in there and drown that in wax as well, because obviously then anything that comes up isn't going to be able to attack anything. So I've got that open. Oh man, pups for you. This side's still got potatoes, you can see, but like I say, it's so blooming solid, you might as well just drown it in wax while we're in here, because it's just, I've never seen one so blooming clean. It's ridiculous. Now the other bit I want to do is, the doors last year got these put on them, which are sound pads. Now what these do is, if you listen to that, that's really ringy. Now if you do there, the pad is literally stopping anything moving. It's just dunk. There's no vibration allowed, which is so much quieter, believe me, because you can tap it on the outside, nothing. Whereas if you went, say, actually, it's probably good to the BX. So if I show you this, that's what the BX is like. Now, same thing, but on the Mark II with the sound pad, nothing. Which therefore means that when you've got the stereo blaring, especially, the door doesn't vibrate. It just the sound is held and it goes that way rather than being absorbed and just flopping around the door. Now again, doors are blooming clean, as you can see. I've never seen doors this clean before on a car this age. What I'm going to do is, while we've got the door card off, and the door card, I'm still not sure how I'm going to do this, because the door cards from this original shell, Denny, that's enough. Hang on. The door card, I'm not too sure what I'm doing about it, because both the original ones off this shell and the one that came off the old shell are shot. So I'm currently not really sure what to do about it, because of course you've got the speaker there which needs an outlet so that the sound can travel through. Got this bit here which comes outwards, so again it's a difficult shape to sort out. I have been sort of umming, do I get a sheet of, say, aluminium or something like that, cover it in vinyl so it looks fairly close to that, but just sort of relatively flat, a little bit of shape to accommodate that. I'm really not sure, but yeah, it's one of those things, because the you get turbo ones, but then they've sort of got fur covering on them, so it wouldn't look right with the rest of the interior. It's a difficult one, because the campus ones don't have a speak hole, and I really don't like the idea of cutting into those, because I think it just looks blooming hideous, because it won't look right. You'll be able to tell very quickly that, okay, that didn't originally have a speak hole in it. So it's a bit of a difficult one knowing what to do. But while it's apart, you've got these little holes just here, and if I put the camera in here for you, you should be able to see, I think. Yeah, no? The hell is it? I did just see it. Ah, there it is. So the hole I just showed you is that little bit of daylight there. So what I'm going to do is, while, as you can see, it's still blooming clean as a whistle in here. A little, yeah, that's alright. We're going to fill the hell out of this door with cavity wax. There you go. Ah, I knew there was one somewhere in the middle. Just found it. It's right there, look, where the light's going up and down. We're going to window up as it is at the minute, and we're just going to coat the entire inside of the door as well, because again it just means that we're getting ahead, because normally this bottom edge of the door is rotten, and as you can see, this one is still got its factory fresh paint on it. That was something that caught my eye with this, because I've never seen factory fresh paint still on the seals. These are normally covered in understeel by now. They've still got the stone chip and the original paint on them. So yeah, I cannot believe I found this car only 10 miles from my own house. It's crazy, absolutely blooming crazy to think that this was sitting on someone's driveway so close to home. But all I can say is I'm blooming glad I did get it, because actually it's not the perfect car, but actually it's a perfect car to be able to just jump in and use it rather than worrying about it, because it's so perfect. I've had quite a few people in the past who I've known in the club ring me up and say, oh, I've got this car, do you want it? It's absolutely perfect. It's like, no, because actually if you've got a perfect car, you can't really enjoy it. You just worry too much of, oh, am I going to scratch it? Oh, am I going to get it scuffed? Oh, is someone going to dent it in a car park? And yeah, the latter bit I said about the car park dents, they're a bit annoying, but it's just something you can't really avoid. But if you've got a mint car, it just makes you not want to use it, whereas for me, I want a blooming car I can really use and imagine that you're still back in the 1980s and it's an everyday car, which for me it basically is. So yeah, really happy with the alloy wheels. I got these last year, I think I'll get September time. I had been looking for the alloy wheels that go on to the that came on the 5 TSE, which I cannot think how the hell to describe them apart from like also a great big square in like double direction. In my time of having these cars, I've only managed to track down, I think I've seen one car with them fitted and never seen any come up for sale. And when I got this shell, I thought to myself, right, I've got a really nice looking shell now. The steelies look blooming hideous, they're all rusty and horrible, and actually the edge round heels actually starting to rot through them. That's how old and crappy they were. And put a post out and said either I'm going to find a nice set of steels that are the correct rectangular holes, because you know, bit OCD, they've got to be right for the age of the car. They can't be the circular ones because they're the late cars that just annoy me. And someone very local to me had these, which are the speed lines, and they're actually a boutique option from the era of the car. So it was like perfect, got them, and yeah, they still need some refurbing to do because they don't look the best, but actually I'm happy with them and I think they look really nice. The only thing I have found, which is rather blooming strange, is that for some reason, the one thing that really struck us with this car when we first got on the road 10 years ago was we could not believe how you could put it into a corner and you'd have to slow down, because the front end would be holding on so damn tight that you wouldn't be able to hold on to it and keep it on the corner. You'd have to slow down because it would be sticking to the road so firmly. With these wheels, I do not understand why, but they just don't. The same tyres that stuck to the road like glue with steelies on them don't seem to have alloy wheels. It's really bizarre. I can't quite understand how that works. But you put it into the same corner with the same sort of technique as you would have done before, but on these wheels you can almost literally feel where, say you're doing a right hand turn, for example, you can almost literally feel this, the fact that this part here is literally probably on at that angle, just literally fighting to grip onto the road, and you can feel it not literally letting go when you're going around the corner with any sort of technique to it. Whereas the steelies, you used to put it into a corner and it would just stick like super glue, and you'd have to almost ease off. It'd be like, wow, I can't hold on to this, it's sticking to the road that well. But on these wheels, same tyres, seems to be very opposite. I don't really understand how that works. If anyone's got any answers, crack on, because I'd love to understand why. But yeah, that's a bit of that's the Mark II for you. If anyone knows, what would I like to find? Oh yeah, if anyone knows a good source for front door cards with the speaker holes in them, yeah, crack on. Let me know, because otherwise it's going to be rather fun, because at the moment this is my view, and it's not the best view. It might be functional in most ways, but it would be nice to have a door card on again. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the little update. If you want any more, then I'll do my best. But at the moment, YouTube is kind of a last priority of mine because I've got other things going on. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it.